Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into Social Empathy by Elizabeth A. Segal, a profound exploration of empathy beyond the individual level, offering insights on extending our empathetic understanding to encompass entire social and cultural groups. Published in 2018, this enlightening work guides readers through the complexities of imagining not just what it feels like to be another person, but also understanding the historical and political contexts that shape their identities. Elizabeth A. Segal, a distinguished professor in the School of Social Work at Arizona State University, leverages her extensive experience and previous works, such as Social Welfare Policy and Social Programs, a Values Perspective, and Assessing Empathy, to illustrate how empathy can be expanded. Social empathy methodically uncovers the obstacles that hinder our empathetic capacity, including stress and the fear of otherness, and offers practical strategies for overcoming these barriers. This book is an essential read for compassionate individuals aiming to deepen their empathy, psychology enthusiasts eager to learn about the mechanics of empathic connection, and activists seeking to understand the crucial role of empathy in driving social change. Siegel's expertise not only informs but also inspires readers to forge more meaningful, empathetic connections with not just those around them, but with society at large. Social Empathy, the Art of Understanding Others. Introduction. Unlock the power of large-scale empathy. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with news of devastating events from every corner of the globe. These stories often leave us feeling a cocktail of emotions: heartbreak, confusion, outrage, and a burning question: how could anyone commit such acts? At the core of these acts, it seems, is a glaring absence of empathy, that invaluable quality that allows us to feel the pain of others and, importantly, prevents us from causing others pain. Empathy is more than just a nice-to-have trait. It's fundamental to our existence, fostering understanding and connection among individuals and communities alike. Some people, however, find it easier to adopt multiple perspectives and truly see the world through others' eyes. Have you ever wondered why that is? Why can some easily step into the shoes of someone from a completely different background while others find it almost impossible? Elizabeth Siegel's book, Social Empathy, dives into these very questions. She examines social empathy, a nuanced form of empathy that extends beyond our immediate circles, enabling us to understand people from diverse backgrounds, races, cultures, and economic statuses. This book explores the mechanics of social empathy, delving into the societal factors that enhance or hinder our ability to connect with others on a deep, empathetic level. In this exploration, you'll discover how empathy isn't just a personal virtue, but a transformative societal force. Imagine a world where empathy is woven into the fabric of every nation, enhancing collective happiness and understanding across borders. Interestingly, Segal notes that individuals from lower income backgrounds often exhibit higher levels of empathy, suggesting that hardship and struggle might enhance one's capacity for connection and understanding. Moreover, the digital age has reshaped the landscape of empathy. With social media's pervasive influence in our lives, understanding how it impacts our ability to empathize with others is more crucial than ever. Through the lens of social empathy, you're invited to journey into the heart of these dynamics, understanding the obstacles that impede our empathetic abilities and uncovering the immense benefits that come with nurturing a more empathetic society. Part 1. Understanding Social Empathy, the Lens of Context. Picture New Orleans under the relentless assault of Hurricane Katrina in August 2005. The city is in chaos, and amidst the turmoil, some individuals are seen taking essentials from stores: food, water, clothing. The media was quick to brand these people as criminals, but was there more to the story? As time passed, a different narrative began to emerge from a sect of journalists who chose to dig deeper. exploring not just the act of taking supplies, but why these actions took place. Their stories shed light on the systemic issues at play: decades-long neglect of vital infrastructure, the disproportionate impact on impoverished neighborhoods, and a history steeped in racial discrimination. This wasn't about justifying theft, but understanding the desperate circumstances that led to it. This approach is the essence of social empathy. It's not merely about feeling sympathy for those affected, but understanding the complex layers of their experiences. The cornerstone of social empathy is context. Typically, when we think of empathy, we consider it on a personal level, termed interpersonal empathy. It allows us to share feelings directly with another individual, acknowledging their pain as their own while feeling it with them. However, empathy's reach extends beyond the one-on-one, touching on the collective experiences of entire communities, encapsulated in the concept of social empathy. Social empathy prompts us to explore not just the immediate feelings of a group, but their broader life experiences and historical context. It's about truly walking in another's shoes, imagining their life, not by transplanting our current selves into their situation, but by understanding their circumstances wholly and deeply. Consider the discussions around looting post-Katrina as a case in point. Those quick to condemn hadn't made the leap to the real desperation faced by individuals in a crisis. They hadn't considered the enormous pressures and historical injustices that shaped those actions. They were essentially imagining the scenario from the comforts of their unaffected reality, lacking the complete shift in perspective needed to genuinely empathize. Social empathy demands more. It requires recognizing the historical and present-day challenges that shape a group's experience. It's about acknowledging the long shadows cast by events such as slavery on the African American community today. By fully immersing ourselves in understanding the context, both historical and current, that defines others' realities, social empathy allows for a more profound, nuanced, and compassionate approach to relating with one another. It's about realizing that to truly understand, we must look beyond the surface and see the web of factors that contribute to the present situation. Part 2: The Ripple Effect of Empathy, from Personal Happiness to Social Harmony. Imagine being part of a team project where one member always seems to lag behind, missing meetings and contributing less. Frustrating, isn't it? But then you learn they've been caring for a sick child. Suddenly, your annoyance might shift to understanding and a willingness to support. This transformation is empathy at work, a powerful force that not only fosters compassion, but also shapes positive interactions and personal contentment. Empathy is not just about understanding and sharing others' feelings. It actively encourages us to overlook flaws and extends our inclination to assist those in need. Empathy is the driving force behind positive behavior, or pro-social behavior, as psychologists term it. These are the acts of kindness that stitch the fabric of our social world together, from helping a friend in distress to volunteering for a cause. Empathy fuels cooperation, the collaborative spirit that ensures mutual benefit and minimizes conflict by enhancing our understanding of others' circumstances. This cooperative environment, fostered by increased social empathy, cultivates communities that are not only caring, but also tightly knit. But the benefits of empathy extend far beyond fostering social cohesion. Empathy is a cornerstone of personal growth and achievement. It equips us with the social navigation skills essential for well-being and competence, thereby encouraging us to reach our fullest potential. Moreover, empathy is linked to personal happiness. It's a reciprocal relationship. While helping others, the empathetic individual also reaps the benefits of their goodwill. This phenomenon might resonate with your own experiences, the joy derived from making someone's day a little brighter. Remarkably, empathy's impact is not confined to individual interactions but radiates through entire societies. An intriguing study analyzing happiness across 150 countries found that the top indicators of national happiness levels weren't economic wealth, but rather strong social support, a sense of freedom, and trust in both government and institutions. The findings suggest that societies flourish when empathy and caring underpin policy decisions, whereas a lack of such considerations can lead to social discord. Empathy, therefore, emerges as not merely a personal virtue, but a societal linchpin, promoting behaviors and policies that lead to both individual and communal happiness. In a world increasingly characterized by division and strife, cultivating empathy might just be the key to building more harmonious and joyful societies. Part 3: Breaking Down Barriers: How Otherness Hinders Empathy. The response to the AIDS crisis in the 1980s is a stark illustration of how societal attitudes can dramatically affect public policy and empathy. The initial inaction by the US government, led by the Reagan administration, which pointedly ignored the epidemic, reveals a deep-seated issue. It wasn't until the plight of a young boy, infected through a blood transfusion, captured national attention that the gears of policy began to turn. This shift underscores a prevalent human tendency: the ease with which empathy is blocked by seeing individuals as other. This painful chapter in history exemplifies a critical truth. Perceiving individuals as fundamentally different or other can significantly diminish our capacity for empathy. So, what exactly fuels this division between us and them? Psychologists have long explored the concepts of in-group and out-group to explain how we understand difference. Essentially, those we identify with or see similarities with form our in-group. In contrast, those perceived as different fall into the out-group. This categorization touches every aspect of our lives, influencing everything from political affiliations to social circles, and even the sports teams we cheer for. Curiously, our alliance to our in-group can become so strong that we favor them and develop biases against the out-group, even in scenarios where the distinctions between the groups are entirely arbitrary. This bias is deeply ingrained, apparent even in scenarios as simple as school children divided into teams of different colors. The origins of these deep-seated loyalties and biases are not just social, but neurological. Brain imaging studies have revealed that our brains actually respond differently when faced with someone we perceive as different, affecting our empathic reactions at a fundamental level. However, there's hope in this understanding of otherness and empathy. Not only can recognizing otherness help us understand the barriers to empathy, but empathy itself can be a tool to overcome these barriers. Developing empathy allows us to see beyond superficial differences and to recognize our shared humanity, effectively dismantling prejudices and biases. One practical step toward enhancing our empathetic capacities is to actively engage with individuals who differ from us. Whether by living in diverse communities or seeking out experiences that challenge our in-group biases, these interactions can foster new neural pathways. These pathways, in turn, facilitate a broader understanding and recognition that those we once saw as fundamentally different are in many ways not so different after all. By embracing and enhancing our empathy, we can dissolve the barriers of otherness, fostering a more inclusive and understanding world. Part 4: The complex relationship between power and empathy. Before ascending to the presidency, Barack Obama penned a book titled The Audacity of Hope, within which he articulated empathy as a cornerstone of his values and a critical element for decision-making. This perspective places him among the rare echelons of powerful individuals who emphasize empathy. In stark contrast, Donald Trump, long before his presidency in 2012, advocated for a much less empathetic approach at the National Achievers Conference, where he suggested retaliating aggressively against adversaries. This divergence highlights a broader dynamic at play. Power often leads to a decrease in empathy. Power's inclination to erode empathy is not an isolated phenomenon. It's a systemic issue that resonates through the halls of power and leadership. Individuals positioned at the higher rungs of societal or organizational hierarchies show a tendency towards lower levels of empathy. The rationale is multifaceted but boils down to necessity, or the lack thereof. For those in power, the immediate needs and perspectives of others become less pressing, overshadowed by the autonomy and resources at their disposal. The consequence is a diminished need to engage empathetically with those who sit lower on the social ladder. Moreover, the overwhelming demands on the attention of those in power lead to a reliance on stereotyping as a cognitive shortcut. This simplification allows for quick judgments, bypassing the need for deeper understanding or empathetic engagement. Such attitudes starkly impede the capacity for perspective taking, an essential component of empathy. The influence of power on empathy can be attributed to two primary effects. Firstly, the disinhibiting effect of power liberates individuals to act in self-serving ways without concern for the opinions or well-being of others. Secondly, there is a natural inclination for those in power to fixate on their own experiences and ambitions, diverting focus away from the perspectives and needs of others. Despite this daunting relationship between power and empathy, hope is not lost. Barack Obama represents a strand of leadership where empathy informs power, joining the ranks of historical figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Francis Perkins. These individuals demonstrate that power, when guided by empathy, can transform societies and uplift the marginalized. The challenge, then, is not inherent to power itself, but in how those who wield it choose to acknowledge and respond to the needs and perspectives of others. By fostering a culture where empathy informs leadership, the potential for positive change and mutual understanding is vast. Obama's reflective consideration of empathy as central to governance is not just an ideal. It's a testament to the possibilities when power is exercised with a deep understanding of and care for the human condition. Part 5. The impact of stress on our ability to empathize. Picture this. It's crunch time, the final countdown before a major project's deadline. That rush you feel, that surge of adrenaline and laser-like focus, is your body's way of coping with immediate stress. This reaction is propelled by a cocktail of hormones designed to energize you into action. But what happens when that stress doesn't let up, when the worry extends over weeks, and your body switches to producing cortisol? This hormone, while useful in generating additional resources, also deactivates non-essential functions for survival. Instead of clarity and vigor, you are left with exhaustion, brain fog, and notably, a diminished capacity for empathy. This is the shadowy side of stress when it lingers without respite. Empathy, at its core, is an embodied experience. When we observe or even imagine the actions and emotions of others, we vicariously feel with our bodies before our brains step in to process and ascribe meaning to these reactions. However, should anything disrupt our cognitive processes, such as the impact of prolonged stress, this delicate chain of empathy can break down. Chronic stress does not only manifest through personal deadlines, but is deeply entrenched in societal structures, one of which is poverty. In the stark contrast of wealth and deprivation, the United States, despite its economic stature, has a significant portion of its population living in conditions that perpetuate chronic stress. Poverty doesn't merely strangle financial freedom, it constricts physical health, heightening the risk of severe illnesses and impeding healthy brain development, especially in children. Yet, amid these bleak insights lies a beacon of hope. Research indicates that intellectual engagement for children can mitigate some of the adverse effects of poverty on brain development, thereby nurturing the neural pathways essential for empathy. This underscores the power of a stimulating educational environment in fostering a generation capable of deep empathy. Contradictory as it may seem, studies also suggest that lower socioeconomic status can amplify empathetic abilities. Individuals from these backgrounds often exhibit an enhanced awareness of social cues, a propensity for engagement with others, and a sharper skill in interpreting emotional states. This intimates that while poverty might hinder some cognitive functions, it simultaneously cultivates a keen sensitivity to others' emotions and experiences. In understanding the intricate dance between stress, empathy, and socioeconomic status, we uncover a complex web of causes and effects. It reveals that, within the challenge of chronic stress and poverty, there exists the potential for profound empathy, a reminder of the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit. Part 6. Embracing Empathy Through Tolerance in Religion. Dive into the core teachings of the world's major religions, and you'll discover a universal mandate, the Golden Rule. This fundamental moral principle, whether found in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, or Confucianism, admonishes us to treat others as we would wish to be treated ourselves. Embodying this rule, many find religion to be a source of deep compassion and a call to extend kindness and assistance to others. Yet history is also scarred by heinous acts committed under the banner of religious belief. This paradox raises the question: how can doctrines emphasizing love and empathy also fuel divisive and violent acts? The interplay between religion and empathy is intricate. While religion has the potential to foster understanding and compassion, it can also succumb to corruption, leading to the erosion of empathy. For religion to genuinely foster empathy, it must embrace tolerance. The precept of loving one's neighbor is a potent force for promoting positive conduct, wherein empathy often serves as a guiding motivation. However, religion can also encourage divisiveness, framing the unfamiliar or different as other, which can manifest in exclusionary practices or, at its extreme, serve to justify violence against non-adherents. From the witch hunts of the past to modern atrocities, the consequences of such a mindset are a sobering reminder of religion's potential to harm. Yet, religion's role in social issues can vary significantly, serving as both a tool for justifying slavery and inspiring its abolition. The critical failing arises when religious beliefs become overly dogmatic, laying claim to exclusive truths and demanding unquestioning adherence, thereby paving the way for violence and oppression. The distinction between exclusive and inclusive religious perspectives is key, hinging on the capacity for perspective taking, an essential component of empathy. This entails recognizing and respecting the validity and importance of diverse faiths and beliefs, rooted in a foundational respect for all people, in other words, tolerance. The challenge is not with religion per se, but with extremist views that resist critical examination. The ideology of the Nazis, for instance, wasn't religious, but it was undoubtedly extremist, illustrating that the danger lies not in belief itself, but in the refusal to acknowledge the humanity and dignity of others. In conclusion, for religions to truly embody empathy, they must incorporate a commitment to tolerance, ensuring that their teachings promote understanding, respect, and compassion across all divides. Part 7. The Dual Edge of Technology: Bridging and Building Empathy. Navigating the digital landscape, you might have stumbled upon an internet troll hidden behind the veil of anonymity, spreading negativity and targeting vulnerable communities. This issue underscores a critical downside of technology: its ability to highlight and even exacerbate the lack of empathy within our society. However, this isn't the whole story. Contrary to the notion that technology solely amplifies negative traits, it also possesses the remarkable potential to foster and extend empathy. Digging into the intricate relationship between technology and empathy, especially in communication, reveals a nuanced picture. Given that empathy is central to effective communication, the question arises: does technology enhance or hinder our relational capabilities? A study exploring the impact of online interactions on face-to-face relationships offers an uplifting answer. Contrary to fears that online communication might diminish the quality or frequency of in-person interactions, findings suggest the opposite. Interacting online, particularly with those we already know, tends to enrich and even augment offline connections. This reinforcement of relationships underscores technology's potential to act as a bridge rather than a barrier. Beyond maintaining existing connections, technology opens avenues for empathy through the creation of online communities. For individuals grappling with illnesses, online support groups offer a space for sharing and understanding, nurturing empathy among strangers, united by common challenges. Here, technology triumphs by transforming disparate individuals into an in-group, where empathy flourishes naturally. For adolescents, the digital realm, specifically social media, plays a significant role in their social and psychological development. It maintains and strengthens existing friendships, offers peer support, and contributes positively to their identity formation. However, it's important to note that technology, in this regard, is a mirror more than a cure-all. While it can bolster already strong relationships, it cannot remedy the underlying issues in strained ones. Observations linking Facebook usage with lower moods among young people illustrate technology's limitations and its reflective nature on existing real-life dynamics. In essence, technology embodies a dual capability. It can both facilitate and hinder empathy, depending on how we wield it. As a tool, its impact is largely contingent on the intentions and behaviors of its users. By consciously leveraging technology to enhance understanding, build trust, and foster community, we can counteract its potential downsides and harness it as a powerful ally in promoting empathy across the digital divide. Part 8. Empowering Change Through Social Empathy. In 2016, a poignant video capturing the rescue of a 5-year-old boy from the rubble in Aleppo, Syria, touched hearts worldwide. This raw moment transcended borders, sparking not only empathy, but a deeper reflection on the broader human condition affected by war. While some viewers felt immediate pain and fear for the boy, others delved into the broader implications, pondering the daily realities for children in conflict zones, the experiences of various groups caught in the crossfire, and the underlying socio-political catalysts driving such devastation. This expanded outlook, considering the collective experience beyond the individual, is the essence of social empathy. Social empathy is pivotal in crafting a better world, as it encourages us to address and combat injustice on a larger scale. The journey toward fostering a more empathetic society begins with cultivating interpersonal empathy, the ability to connect and share in the feelings of another. Building upon this foundation, we can broaden our empathetic scope to encompass social empathy. A critical element in this process is context. Our brains are wired to interpret events within their surrounding context. Consider a research study where participants watched videos of a needle piercing a hand. While one group received no explanation, the other was informed the action was part of a necessary medical procedure. Interestingly, both groups' brain scans reflected a reaction to perceived pain, yet the informed group's brains also activated regions associated with empathy, showcasing the power of context in shaping our emotional responses. Social empathy, then, extends this contextual understanding to a more expansive scale, engaging what's known as macro perspective taking. This form of empathy invites us to envision life not just from the viewpoint of an individual, but from the shared perspectives of diverse social groups, encompassing different races, genders, and cultures. It's a deeper form of empathy that recognizes the collective experiences and challenges faced by these groups. At its core, social empathy fuels transformative public policies that significantly enhance societal well-being. From the establishment of voting rights to the inception of Social Security and the recognition of same-sex marriage, each policy initiative is underpinned by a profound understanding and respect for the diverse experiences of others. In essence, social empathy casts a wide net, embracing the complexities of human experience across the societal spectrum. By promoting an inclusive and comprehensive understanding of the myriad challenges and viewpoints within our global community, social empathy lays the groundwork for policies and actions that not only acknowledge individual pain, but also strive for a collective healing and an equitable future for all. Final summary. At its essence, empathy on a one-to-one basis comes naturally to many. However, Expanding this compassionate understanding to cover entire communities, social empathy, is where the real challenge lies. It prompts us to dive deep into the broader societal and historical context that mold the experiences of others. Recognizing the obstacles that hinder our empathetic connections is the first step toward dismantling them. By embracing social empathy, we equip ourselves with the toolset required to construct a more inclusive and understanding society. Through this journey, we discover that social empathy not only enriches our individual lives, but also holds the keys to unlocking a future marked by greater connection, compassion, and collective well-being. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.